Hello. Thank you for joining today's Digital Workplace webinar session. Today's session is focused on IT role in cloud contact center evolution. I just have to say, I am very excited for today's session. Customer service and cloud contact center is something that is very near and dear to my heart. So, we have a lot of good content here today for you. So, let's get started. Today's agenda is we're going to do a quick introduction. We're going to take a step back and talk about customer service and its evolution. Then we're going to talk about why is customer service and customer experience matters in today's day and age. Then we are going to talk about our Netrix's omnichannel contact center solution and its capabilities. We're not going to be able to cover all of it, but we want to showcase some of the very key features that is helping our clients a lot. Then we are going to wrap it up with a real world case study on how we are helping organizations, their journey, their before and after scenario, and what benefits they got out of this transformation journey with Netrix. And there is always going to be Q&A. So throughout this session, if you have any questions or feedback, please use the Q&A section to drop your questions. We will address those questions as they come up or towards the end of the session. So with that, let's get in the introduction. My name is Satyendra Sharma. I am one of the field CTOs in the digital workplace category at Netrix. We focus on all things digital workplace. That includes voice, video, UCaaS, CCaaS solution. I am based out of beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And when I'm not working, I do love to spend time with my family. We have two amazing daughters and a rescue dog. I love solving business problems with technology. That is something which is my absolute passion, especially around the digital workplace areas. Understanding clients' pain points and resolving them and enhancing beyond their expectation with technology in the right capacity is something I love to do. Our first section is going to talk about evolution of customer service and how it has evolved over decades. It is really important for us to take a recap, a step back, and understand the customer journey and how it has evolved. So I wanted to introduce this slide just to set the context so we have some historical information on how things have evolved over time and where we are at today. So when we look at the customer journey, at first it started with voice, right? Like we had phone systems, we had call centers, people would call in, they would be greeted with interactive voice responses, and the calls will get routed to different categories, and different specialized agents would respond to those incoming queries and address the client issues or questions, whatever the context the customer is calling for. So that was our predominant initial customer service avenue. Then we had an introduction of email support, and this really introduced the asynchronous written communication between end users and businesses. We were able to keep track of the thread. We had a context in the email thread of previous discussions and questions or the matter that was discussed. It also integrated with ticketing systems. Anytime you email a support or inquiry, it automatically generates a ticket for better tracking and for business insight purposes. There is also some automation introduced in this area. We had templatized email responses for certain queries, certain subject line, or even just the recipient of the email, right? Like we have received your email, we are working on it, here is your ticket number, so on and so forth. Then we have live chat was introduced in this customer experience journey. And this is where the real 24/7 experience started to happen, right? Like we have this live chat bot that people could chat to, ask questions. It would give all the canned responses. And in certain cases, if the issue needs to be escalated, it was able to escalate it to the human agent for further assistance. And it introduced a lot of flexibility for the clients. No longer they have to call. I am personally one of those people that I like to use web chat wherever I can, because most of the time I'm multitasking or I just don't like to wait on the phone. Then we have the workload of SMS. So instead of client reaching out through web chat, email, and voice, now we have a quick SMS. We all use SMS in our daily lives in some capacity. So it was a natural progression for consumers to use that SMS avenue to get customer service. One example I'll share real quick is, I personally have, doctor's appointment or things like that, and those are typically weeks or months out. I cannot remember what is on my calendar a month out. And, the SMS reminder is really helpful in that case. Like I get an SMS alert, like your appointment is so and so. So it's really good. And I can interact with the customer service using the SMS. If I have to reschedule, I can do it on the fly without calling back into the clinic and stuff like that. Now we have this huge thing called social media, right? Everybody is using social media. Is a very fast paced public response, very dynamic marketplace that we all deal with. uh, Social listening, sentiment analysis, there's all kinds of stuff happening on the social media right now. And it is also a one of the larger avenue for customer experience for businesses today. So you can see the progression of the customer experience. And if something you've noticed between all these modalities that we are talking about, it it is probably why the word call center transitioned into contact center, because now we have all these modalities to use to contact customer care or customer support. So hopefully that gave a quick overview of the journey, where we're coming from, and what clients are expecting today. Now, when we compare from the past on what was involved in running the customer experience, typically consumers have a huge on-prem footprint infrastructure. There would be a limitations of scalability, right? If there is an influx of call queues, or you take over a new business, new product, now you have to upgrade your infrastructure to accommodate the extra workload. There were poor or no integration from your customer call center solution and third party. And we will talk more about why the integration is important in a little bit in coming slides. There were longer wait times. Customer would be sitting on the phone. There were voice only primary or a very siloed channel. And what I mean by that is, if you have voice and email, there was no integration between the two. They were completely isolated, and that would lead to client frustration if they called yesterday and they have an email going on, and it'd be like completely two separate instance of communication. Limited visibility from a manager, supervisor, or IT leader perspective. You don't have any visibility into what's happening, and it was not designed for supporting remote and hybrid workforce, which obviously is a big deal right now. Overall, it led to a very high operational cost and very limited quality assurance. You did not have the visibility to learn from how the systems are performing and adapt to meet the customer requirement. And when we look at today's situation, what is happening? People are moving more to a cloud native architecture. People don't want to manage infrastructure, run hardware, have operating, licensing, support cost, power, cooling. I mean, it just adds on. People are moving to a cloud based solution. It is also giving them the elasticity for scalability. They can scale up, scale down very quickly to adjust according to the business. Lots of integration option with this cloud-based systems, and the integration is uh, very important if you have other tools involved in your customer service. And I will talk about a little bit more in a little bit. AI powered intelligence routing. Now we have some automation introduced in customer experience, so people get that first call resolution or initial response right away. They don't have to wait for somebody to go pick up the call or pick up the email or ticket to get back. They can instantly get a response, and then we can solve some of the customer queries right out of the gate using AI. Omnichannel experience, all the modalities we talked about, voice, email, SMS, social media, chat, these are all methods of omnichannel. The older system were struggling to provide those. Now we have all this avenue. A real-time dashboard and analytics for that business insights. So not only you can provide top-notch customer service, but you can also learn from it and introduce improvements. The web-based agent client is introduced now, so people can, as an agent, I can connect from anywhere I want, giving me that flexibility to be a remote hybrid. So I can be available for to provide customer service, and it all rolls up to a subscription-based model. Again, eliminating all the hardware infrastructure, replaced with a subscription cost, which can easily be flexed, scaled up and down. And QA and AI insights, quality assurance AI for that continuous improvement and enhancements to your customer journey. So now that we kind of did a bit of comparison and went down the history of customer experience, why do we want to have the best customer experience? Why does it matter? And I have broken it down in three categories. First is customer expectations. The reality is, customer expectations have changed drastically. Now, consumers want things to be done on their term and their flexibility, right? Like as a consumer, I would be more gravitated to go to somebody or some business who can provide me chat, SMS type support instead of me trying to call into a call center every time I need support. That would obviously cause frustration and not something I want to deal with. Let the customer make the choice on what they want, what modality they want, what is the most convenient for them. Just giving that option is reality. The other thing that's huge is context. Anytime a customer service is contacted, having a context of that incoming query is going to be the king. Why is the customer calling? When was the last time they called? What kind of products they have from us? Are they happy from previous interaction? Are they upset? You can take all these insights from different tools and provide a very personalized customer experience to them. And that's going to be a huge win for you as a business and for consumers, that they'll feel taken care of. The second category, why it matters, is business development. If you are a business and you need to think about all this capability for enhanced customer experience, one of them is revenue growth. You want to grow your business. Providing that multimodal customer experience is gonna lead to a happy customers. Happy customers will give you more business, and you will have opportunity to cross sell, upsell within that client base. It's also a very big competitive differentiator. If you are a business who has multimodal options and providing, reaching to the consumer on their terms at their convenience, you are going to be having an edge against your competition. Customer loyalty. Satisfied customers are more likely to return, and more importantly, they will be sharing, they will become your evangelist to talk to other people who may be coming to you, right? So word of mouth. Reduce customer churn. Poor service is one of the top reasons why clients change products. And having this excellent customer service is going to eliminate that customer churn for you. So high customer retention, and again, customer loyalty and evangelist is going to be the key. And from a business perspective, you also want some actionable insight. The keyword is actionable, right? So you want to be able to monitor what's happening within your contact center arena and take actions on it so you can reduce customer inquiries altogether, providing, if you have less people reaching out to your customer service, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? That means you are maybe remediating all the issues that may come up before they even contact you. The third category is risk. Now, what are some of the risks that comes into play if you don't have a good customer service? Revenue loss. So it's just contradicting to what we had, right? From business growth perspective, just opposite of it. You're gonna be able to miss upsell, cross-sell opportunity, unhappy customers. So you have, most of the time, happy customers will share their experiences with other. Almost all the time, unhappy customers will definitely share that with other people. Right now we have all this um, consumer ratings, you got social media, you got your private rating and Google feedback and all kinds of things people share, and that will impact the business. So we want to eliminate that, avoid that. Increase support cost. If you don't have multimodal or enhanced customer service, people will repeatedly contact your support. There'll be lots of escalation, they'll be upset. It's going to cause customer frustration, which is obviously the next point. It's going to lead to customer churn. Frustrated clients don't want to deal with it. At the end of the day, they are spending their money to get the top notch support that they expect these days. And it also causes like some morale issues as an agent, right? If you're constantly battling with upset clients, and the morale is not high, it also leads to a agent burnout and high turnover from an agent perspective. So quick recap of why the customer service is so important in today's day and age when it comes to contact center. Now we are going to switch gear and talk about Netrix's omnichannel contact center platform. So before we go into the product feature, which obviously we will just cover a subset of it, what are some of the key highlights? Like what you should be looking for in a contact center platform as you are doing an evaluation? Connect everywhere, which in other words is offer omni-channel handle. You want a platform that is able to accommodate today's multimodal omni-channel handle. Voice, chat, SMS, social media are some, right? Email, along with all these traditional options. You want to be able to give all these options to your client so they can use whatever is convenient for them and have context awareness between your modality. Automate with intelligence. Um, Harnessing AI, right? Listen, the AI is here. It's not going anywhere. Now, the big question is, how do we harness the power of AI for your business development and enhanced customer support? We in this webinar, we are going to be focused on solving business problems. We are leveraging AI that we will talk about some more in coming slides, but AI is almost like a passive, right? Like it's there, it's supporting your contact center platform and the customer experience. But at the end of the day, our goal is to solve business problem and provide excellent customer service. So using AI to do automation, um, escalating it to humans where necessary, and then also cut cost with some of those automated responses. Routing with precisions is context aware, right? Like routing an agent to the routing an incoming request to the best suitable agent. If there is a client who talked to agent A yesterday, and if they're trying to call back, from a system perspective or experience perspective, the best option would be to route that client back to that agent A, so that that agent A has a context and they have some sort of relationship, right? So the customer is going to feel more personalized, um, and we'd be happy with it. And engaging proactively. So, the proactive reach out to the client is also an option that we should be looking for in a contact center solution instead of client calling into the system, right? So what are the proactive engagement options from the contact center tool? Monitoring in real time. This is huge for businesses. They want to be able to see what is happening in your contact center platform. How many agents are staffed, how many calls are waiting, what kind of feedback we are getting from the client. Should you be putting some agents back into the training, right? That could lead up to a lot of insights that businesses can take action on. Analyzing what matters, sentiment analysis, service metrics, like these are the scoring, CSAT score. We are able to, how do we detect if a customer is getting annoyed on the call, right? So like sentiment analysis from a tone, and then we can take necessary action on that. Identifying trends early. So if there is any training opportunities for the agent, if you are seeing a lot of incoming requests are getting escalated for a certain topic, maybe that's time to train on the topic so we can reduce the incoming inquiries and increase your first call resolution. Management of the system. These platforms are complex. We want to be able to manage them in somewhat simplified manner with confidence, right? And also what kind of support comes with the platform, like where am I on my own if I buy this product, or do I have a coverage from the vendor who can hold my hand and walk me through the management and provisioning steps so I'm not lost. And then capturing, right? So we can do um, call recording. Are we transcribing? Are we doing screen recording? Are we collecting customer feedback, post call service, things like that? And everything gets fed into the quality assurance. So these are not all, but some of the very key objects or elements that we should be thinking about when we are starting to think about a contact center platform. Now, with that, let's take a quick overview of what the Netrix's omnichannel contact center brings to the table. This list over here is not the complete list. So there is a lot more capability, and this webinar would be a lot longer if we cover all of it. We just wanted to showcase some key areas of the platform that we are leveraging to solve client business problems. The platform is fully equipped with AI intelligence. So we are doing a lot of automation, transcription, sentiment analysis, things like that. It offers omni-channel modalities for you to offer all those elements and communication paths to your consumers. There is a conversation designer. I'm going to drill down, I think, 6 of these features in the coming slides. Um, Conversation designer is one of them, and it's my favorite. Now we have CRM integration, right? So you have customer relationship management. Um, how do you pull context from CRM systems so you have that context aware communication customer experience? Our platform has that available natively. It's hybrid remote ready. Your agents can be anywhere, no longer they're tied to a physical building or office location. As long as they have internet and a working PC, they are contact center fully functional. Callback queuing. A lot of the times people still use voice calling, but they may not want to hang on the phone until the agent becomes available. we can request and offer a callback queuing while maintaining their position in the queue. And when the agent becomes available, they get notified of a callback request, and then out they make the call back to the client. So again, reaching clients on their term is something that we have baked into our product. Agent wallboard, supervisor dashboard, these are all manager supervisor capability. They can see real time what is happening in the business and then take actions to remediate if something needs to be tweaked in the platform. Post call survey is a big one, right? Like, how do we capture not only just the client feedback, even the agent feedback? So we have capabilities to collect feedback from both sides, right? If a client is suggesting they had a bad experience or they had a great experience, and then from the agent perspective, I have the capability to provide my feedback on that call that I had with the client, and then that way we can uh, do an analysis on how this conversation went. Right, of course we want both sides to be happy and everything is good, but sometimes if there is misalignment, that gives you that insight to do the enhancement and improvements in your system. We have blended campaign dialer. So this is the outreach element of you contacting the client for specific business reasons. And I have a drill down on this as well. Call recording, transcription, abandoned call tracking. What are you missing, right? Like, that's another big one, that how much business or how much customer experience are we missing out on? What are we doing with the abandoned call? Who is calling back those callers and reaching out like, hey, we notice you try to reach support. Is there something we can help with? Like, that one step is gonna develop that customer loyalty. So pretty big deal. Advanced call reporting, quality management. I have a drill down on that, but just few of the features that we offer, part of our contact center solution. And this also has a unified communication uh, element, which is natively integrated. And we also integrate with solutions like Microsoft Teams as a UC. So not only we are doing just the contact center, but we can overarching provide you the unified communication and the contact center solution altogether. So, double clicking on the conversation designer, like I mentioned earlier, these systems are complex and there's a lot of moving pieces when we try to build workflows and call flows in the systems. Collecting information from inbound caller, whether it's an account number, and then looking up that account number in your CRM system or your accounting system, pull the contact customer record, doing API lookup, things like that. We can very easily design the flow that you want, right? And then what queue should the call go to? How much? What is your queue overflow setting? What is the queue SLA and tolerance and things like that? And it's a very nice and easy. You can adjust the boxes and easily connect the lines where you want it to go. Helps you design your overflow, your workflow, and the call flow. And it's so easy to understand, right? Like, it's like working in PowerPoint with connectors and things like that. It's just simple as that. So as a customer, you have access to the conversation designer. You can go and view or modify your call flows and workflows. However, we also have a 24/7 support with this platform. So as a customer, if you're uncomfortable making changes or have questions or unsure about things, you can always reach out to the support desk. They're always available to respond to your request. And then they will work with you hand in hand to make sure your workflows are working to the best of its ability to meet your business requirements. Conversational insight, this is where we have AI into the picture, right? Like, we have AI in a lot of different areas, but this is the one area where we can actually like see in action. So every time a call, if the calls are recorded, we have in the screenshot, you can see there is an agent side of it and there is a customer side of it. And then based on the voice and the tone of the client discussions, we can tag the audio stream with different color coding, and that's your sentiment analysis, right? And as a supervisor, I can go in and I can review all the calls that maybe has a lot of bad sentiments and things like that, and I can go and review what happened and see if there's any opportunity for training, or do we need to call that client back and do some escalations on it or whatnot. And then on the right side here in the bottom right, we have the conversation summary. So a very quick snapshot of why the client reached support, what was the resolution, how the agent handled the call, everything in one glance, right? And then you can even tag the call as a supervisor. So we have some built-in tags here. We can create custom tags, whether this is a training opportunity or this is a product or we need to take it to product group, things like that, and then kind of classify the calls accordingly. So very popular feature. Obviously leveraging AI to get the most out of the conversation so we can take necessary action to improve the end customer experience. The CRM integration. So, in most organizations today, when we talk about contact center, there is going to be some level of integration, whether it's with CRM, whether it's ITSM or third party API, whatnot. Um, we have the capabilities to extend our integration into CRM systems and others. So, case by case basis, we understand what the client need is and then design the solution accordingly. But just to show few, we have Salesforce, we have ServiceNow, Dynamics 365, Zendesk, Freshdesk. All these CRM systems are available right now for integration to give you that customer context awareness so you can provide that personalized customer experience to your consumers. And it is available through all modalities, right? Whether it could be voice or chat or SMS. We have this self-service agentic AI based chat that can go and pull all this data and present it right in front of agent so they have a full picture of what the clients are calling about. I mean, you can only imagine a scenario where if a call lands and the agent will, instead of saying, "Thank you for calling, how can I help you?" if they can just respond with, "Thank you for calling, Mr. Customer. I see you called yesterday for XYZ. Are you calling about the same thing?" All of a sudden, that customer who's reaching out support, if they are unhappy, their temperature is going to go down and they're going to be much more friendly and they're going to feel like they're getting taken care of, right? So, context awareness is huge. The proactive campaign is designed for outreach, to doing like a callback or reaching out to the clients instead of them calling back into the queue. One of the example I like to share is, let's say you have a credit card collection department, right? Like you have a list of people that you want to contact for outstanding payments or overdue bills or whatever the case may be. We can input that records into our contact center and create that outbound calling journey, so the system will contact the end user, and once they answer, we can either directly connect with the agents available, or we can offer them IVR greeting that this is company XYZ trying to reach out. If you're available to talk, press 1. We collect the DTMF, press 1, or voice command, and then we connect them back to the agent, right? So outbound calling campaign, you know, most of the time the outbound side kind of gets overlooked because customer service is primarily inbound, but we do have this outbound calling mechanism and campaigns built into it. And the source of record could come from as simple as spreadsheet to a CRM system, right? Like whatever your source customers record source is, we can work with it and we can track it too. Like if somebody was contacted today, maybe and they didn't answer, maybe don't call them the same day again, right? Like we put them on the next cycle so we can identify the contact, mark it, tag it, and then we don't want to be too annoying. The quality management dashboard is exactly what it says it does. Gives you a big picture of how things are performing by CSAT score, by overall stats, by NPS score, customer survey, agent survey, all kinds of data. And this page is customizable, right? So we can design the page to your best fit. The point here is you have one dashboard that you can look at and see overall how your contact center is performing, if there is any quality improvement, how, for what reasons your contact center is getting hit by, like what is the hot topic, why everybody's calling you about, right? So we can create some automated response using AI to maybe reduce customer inquiries for that specific topic, right? So a lot of very, very um, impactful data available through the quality management. And there is a whole side of reporting as well. So there is a real-time reporting and there is historical reporting. And this box below on the left side, you can see queue by queue, what is happening, how many agents are available in the queue, how many calls are waiting in the queue. You can cherry pick the call and assign to an agent, or you can add more agents into the queue so that the call volumes is distributed evenly, right? So like you can real time make those changes, and in addition to all the expected features, right? As a supervisor, you can barge, whisper, monitor agents, do coaching. Same thing with chat. You can like watch the chat transactions and jump into the chat if necessary as an escalation point. So all those expected features are already in it, but this live view gives you a real-time dashboard of how things are working. And the historical report is you can go and view trends like quarter by quarter, month by month, how things are progressing, which agent is top performer, which agent is least performer, um, areas of improvement, and just historical data to make business decisions on things like that. So um, we can create historical report, we can export report. If you have your own repository or need a FTP share or something, we can do that, export as well. Or we can create a scheduled reporting where on a given date and time the system will generate the report and then email it to the designated people, so you don't even have to go and fish for data in the tool. It comes directly into your inbox. How convenient is that? So those were a quick 6 features, I believe there was, that we wanted to kind of drill down. But the platform is obviously capable to do a lot more. I highly encourage to contact us to learn more about the platform, so we can kind of do a deep dive and understand your needs and how the product fits into your organization. But with that, I wanted to switch gear and talk about a case study on how we are helping organizations. And this is a very good case study. I was involved in this engagement, so I have a pretty good insight on where the customer was and how painful situation was before, and then how happy they were after everything was said and done with the transition. So we are going to call ABC Limited. Obviously, we don't want to share client names and things like that, but for the sake of this case study, we're going to go with ABC Limited, mid-sized company, about 2,500 employees all across North America, and they also had a contact center base of roughly 75 agents handling customer inquiries. When we engage with them, one of the first thing we do is understand the pain points, right? Like what is not working, what what is your desire, how do you think, how do you see things happening what is your ideal situation that you want for yourselves and your customers. So we learned that they have an aging old PBX phone system, which was for their UC users, the non-contact center, 2,500 employees. There was also Microsoft Teams in the mix because I think you all can probably relate that oftentimes there is organizations where certain business unit wants to use completely different platform regardless of what the IT leaders are saying, but they just go and do it. Anyway, there was Microsoft Teams involved. And then for the 75 contact center agent, they were using a completely third-party contact center solution. The limitation was the contact center was only email and voice, so lack of omnichannel handle. Um, the UC and CC solutions were disjointed. There was no integrations between the contact center and the on-prem PBX or even the Microsoft Teams users. They struggled with scalability, lack of integration. The contact center uh, vendor had a bunch of outages, so they were pretty unreliable, as well as their on-premises PBX. The on-prem PBX was very old, like the equipments were end of life already and end of support. They literally had spare parts sitting on the shelves in their data center. Should some component fail, they couldn't even go buy a brand new, so they just had stockpile of parts. Not a good situation. And then they had a lack of analytics, just broken records between the aging PBX and the contact center, just all kinds of issues. And overall, adding up all these solutions and infrastructure and support maintenance and license cost, it was a pretty expensive deal for them to manage all this for not a lot of outcome from it. So when we engaged, we always start with assessment and requirements gathering, like I mentioned, right? So we want to understand what you have and what's not working. What are the requirements? We can even conduct interviews with your specific business units to understand business by business what is not working, what is their dream situation, what is their ideal situation, must have, nice to have, good to have, or wish list sort of things. um, so we went through all the exercises, then we developed a integrated unified communications contact center solution using the Netrix product. It was also scalable and very flexible for business. That was one of the requirements, that their business keeps changing. They have influx and then it slows down. They want something that can adapt with their business requirement. And it had to be remote work friendly, hybrid work friendly, have all these omni-channel options that we talked about. They had Salesforce for CRM, so they wanted Salesforce integrations with ScreenPop so they can see the customer record, the whole context aware. And they wanted like efficiencies. They wanted customers to be um, handled in a faster, efficient manner for known things, right? So introduce automations. They wanted to see CSAT scores, KPIs, do some outbound reach out. And the aging PBX users, they didn't have soft phone, mobile phone capability. So they wanted that to give them the mobility that people are looking for. Advanced analytics, real time. And at the end, the key was they want something to be 24/7 supported, um, access to support whenever they need, right? And that was a really big deal because their whole business was dependent on these technologies. So we put them on, the Netrix contact center with contact center and voice, and we also did Teams integration for them. So when we moved them from this aging PBX and third-party contact center, and Microsoft Teams users wanted to stick with Microsoft Teams, which is fine. We have a telephony offering for Microsoft Teams users. So we were able to take all these three areas and provide them a consolidated services. Now, contact center users can call um, a PBX user, they can call Teams user, and because we were managing all this environment for the client, all those internal calls were essentially free, right? So there's a ton of saving in terms of PSTN charges by consolidating the solution. And some of the key benefits are listed over here. So now they have an integrated solution for contact center and UCaaS. Their estimated savings was over $200,000 annually. Huge savings. Overall, IT overhead was reduced by 40%. No longer they had to manage the infrastructure, licensing, support, maintenance, hardware. All those racks of spare parts was gone, and they actually reduced their data center footprint as well. Uh, the CRM integration introduced pretty significant reduction in the call handling time because of the context awareness. So with the contact center tool we have, it actually integrates with Salesforce natively through their app exchange. So within the Salesforce interface, which is obviously the primary tool, we have the contact center widgets built into the Salesforce. So every time a call comes into that contact center solution, we ring that widget inside of Salesforce, and in the background, the whole account information for that client pops up. So everything in the same window, right? We want the Salesforce CRM people to use Salesforce because that's where they get the most of the work done, and the contact center just becomes part of it. So it's for them, it's like one tool, the same familiar tool that they're used to using. The agent productivity increased. The with the customer contact, they were very happy to have all this information in front of them so they can have this personalized conversation. The first call resolution rate was improved pretty dramatically, um, with the AI automation as well, right? So we were able to reduce some of the known queries through AI responses before those inquiries even hit the real agents, right? So with the AI automation, we are able to reduce some of those queries right out of the gate. Actionable insight, they got all kinds of data. The quality management dashboard we saw, the report, the real-time dashboard, it gave them all the sentiment analysis, what's working, what's not working, areas of improvement, training opportunities. Everything was in front of them. Huge amounts of data that they never had before. And like I mentioned, the PSTN saving, minute saving with all the integrated component, right? So we can deliver a contact center, we can deliver a standalone UC platform, you can do Microsoft Teams using our telephony, and we can do interoperability between these solutions natively and be that one provider with 24/7 support to be there for you as ongoing support. There was also presence sharing between the tool. So not only before they had isolation, right? There was no visibility from the PBX side and the contact center side. Now we were able to share presence. A contact center, if they had to transfer a call to somebody in accounting for some reason, and the accounting person happens to be on Microsoft Teams, we have the presence sharing built into the platform where they don't even have to leave their contact center client. They can just look up Sam in accounting and see their team's presence. If Sam is available and green, they can just do a click to transfer and the call lands in Sam's Microsoft Teams client straight out of contact center. Huge improvement in the workflow that just simply did not exist in the past. And to top it all off, the client got 24/7 SLA based support. Support was available to them anytime they need, with obviously our SLA and uptime commitment. It also introduced reliability and not to worry about all the infrastructure management and things like that. So to kind of wrap it up, again, that was one of my favorite customer success story. You know, contact us if you have any questions. We can talk more about it. But in terms of us helping out with your customer experience and contact center journey, some key areas where we can engage with is doing an assessment of your topology, right? Like how are things deployed? How is it working? Understand what your ideal customer journey is. Like, what is your contact center experience that you want to offer to your consumers? Work with your business leaders to understand their challenges, their gap, right? Like, what is the roadblock that's keeping them from doing what they do best? And then take all the learning, and then we can design a cutting edge contact center or contact center and UC blended solution, whatever the case may be, right? There's a tons of flexibility when it comes to Netrix's capability to help clients not only for their contact center, but even outside of contact center, whether that being a standalone phone system, it would be Microsoft Teams-based phone systems or integrations. And we can also introduce huge cost savings with consolidation, right? Like we can do unified communication, contact center, third-party integrations, all in one bucket, and that introduces a lot of savings and ongoing enhancements and support, right? So you are not on your own in this. We will be there with the client as alongside with them to be that 24/7 support coverage for you with our platform. So wanted to throw it out there how we can engage. If you have any other questions, obviously feel free to reach out. Let's take a look if we have a couple of questions over here. I have a question on SMS. Is your SMS functionality available for UC outside of contact center? So yes, good question. We can do SMS. Obviously, SMS is one of our omnichannel handle in the realm of contact center. However, if you have a non-contact center, whether they're using a standalone type phone system or a Microsoft Teams integrated phone system, we can enable SMS for them in their native application. So not only they can use their business phone numbers for inbound, outbound type calling, they can also use that for one-to-one messaging, things like that. It also supports group SMS, and we can also do a shared messaging, which is essentially like a departmental level SMS. So if you have an IT help desk or support desk, you can SMS that, and it will notify all the people behind that IT help desk SMS number, and then they can respond back. So you have like a departmental level SMS solution available as well. The other question I have is on the Salesforce integration. So yes, like I mentioned earlier, the Salesforce integration is available through our contact center, and we actually embed our contact center inside of Salesforce screen. So it will be a plugin inside of your Salesforce. All the incoming call will come in that plugin for that agent. It will pop up the customer record. You can even make outbound call from that plugin, and it also tags and inserts a record in your Salesforce account for any interaction you do. So if you make a call, it gets logged under the logs under that account. So it's like very tightly integrated, and we are available on the Salesforce App Exchange. What kind of ROI we can expect from switching to Netrix's contact center platform? It's a pretty vague question, and my favorite response is it depends. So it depends on where you're coming from, right? Like in that case study we just talked about, there was a savings of over $200,000 annually. It might be more for you, it might be less for you. So we need to engage and understand what your current topology is and what your uh, operational cost is and things like that, and from there we can do the ROI calculation. But in most cases there is pretty significant savings by moving, especially if you're coming from an on-premises type deployment, because that on-prem deployment just goes out the door, right? And we also have flexibility. We can port phone numbers, we can do SIP trunking with your current provider, you can do bring your own carrier if that is a requirement that you cannot get out of. We can work with them. We have clients who have signed a long multi-year contract that they cannot get out of, but they want to make the transition to a cloud-based service, we can bring your carrier into our platform and use them until that contract runs out, saving your investments and avoiding any kind of hefty, contract termination type cost for you. So again, it depends, right? And we would love the opportunity to discuss with you, understand your current situation, and map out that ROI for you. um, I'll take this one last question. How is the AI, what level AI is involved in Netrix's contact center solution? Is it just for chatbots? No, it's not. So we have AI, like I mentioned, AI is here. It's not going anywhere. We just have to harness the power of AI to get the most out for us and our business. So we leverage AI in multiple different capacity. Um, Chatbot is one of them. We also have transcription. We have sentiment analysis on it. We also have some automation. So it goes way, beyond chatbot in short, um, and it is used in several different areas to make the product enhanced and do it, what needs to be done for you. And we can dive deeper into it, if that's something of interest. So I think with that we are coming up close to the time. um, oh yeah, we wanted to leave this next webinar upcoming. So we do have a next one coming on August 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And the topic is meeting room management, how to maximize uptime and minimize headaches. If you are using Microsoft Teams rooms, or you're thinking about transitioning to Microsoft Teams rooms as your corporate room systems, please join this webinar. I have my colleague joining presenting on this webinar. Um, the meeting room solutions can get chaotic very quickly, so it is very important to understand how to maximize the uptime and get the most out of it, while keeping it simple and easy to use for your end users. With that, we will leave you a contact us page here. Please contact us if you have any questions on our Netrix solution portfolio or contact center or meeting rooms, anything. We are pretty big in all these areas, cybersecurity, cloud, all that stuff. So please visit our website and contact us if you have any questions. Thank you for joining. I appreciate the time.